Okay, so in this video, we are going to try to attempt to model this particular router here. Okay, so we can see that there is a lot of detail on this router. There is a quick connect button here, of course the logo on top here, and then this panel here. Now what we can do is that we can actually extract these images right from this particular image itself, and then use that as a texture map. Okay, rather than actually modeling this, modeling the entire face out from this in 3D. Okay, then we have this grill pattern over here. So it's a good thing that I managed to find also the rear view of this router. So this grill right goes all the way to the back. Now, if whatever reason right, there is a need to model the back right, you can use this to model. But for me, I will not be bothering to model all these extra details because again, right, we are going to be looking mostly at the front here. Okay, so right now I know that this actually consists of two boxes here, one for the grill and then one for the top. All right. So I will start off by modeling a cube, and then there's another section here. All together, right, there are three main sections here. Right, that curls inwards like that. So from the way I look at it, right, I will start off with a cube. So now I will not be bringing the image inside Maya itself. So again, all of this is just going to be eyeballing. So start with a cube and scale this roughly right to the same shape as the router. Okay, and then I'll be using my knife tool right to cut to form the sections. So if we look over here, okay, obviously this area needs to be beveled, okay, and then it will go down this way, and then there's another bevel that goes down this way like that. So that means I'll have to definitely cut here. Okay, I'll be modeling this half, so I'll model by splitting the cube into half, and then I'll just model half of this section like that. So I'll keep this image open because I'll be jumping out to look at this as a reference. Okay, so I'm going to use multi-cut and cut this into half, and I will delete away the other half. Go to face selection mode, delete this, and I'll use duplicate special. First, before I do that, let me freeze the transformation. Let's freeze the transformation of this object. Delete away the history, then duplicate special. Okay, instance in the x-axis, then duplicate special. Okay, so now I'll do my cuts. Insert one edge loop here. Okay, let me take a look at the picture again. And one edge loop here across the top here. Right about here, right? Okay, so now I want to create the curved section on top. Okay, the rounded section here. So I know that this edge here needs to be rounded. Okay, so I'm going to apply a bevel first. Give it several segments like that. I want to give an even number. Okay, so it's easier to subdivide later on. Then this edge here also bevel. Give it about 4 segments as well. So now this part is rounded. Okay, and then if you look at the model, this top part here, right, also is beveled down all the way here. Okay, now for this area here, I'm going to do a inset, extrude face, and then do an offset. Inwards like that. Then this bottom face here and the central face here, I'm going to delete it away. This bottom face, I also don't need it. And select this edge. move it until it touches. This edge here, move it down until it's lowered down here. Okay, because I'm going to select this piece here and then extrude it out. Okay, these faces here I'm going to delete away because I'm going to select this edge here and apply a bevel. Same thing, four segments like that. Then later I'll rebuild this section again. I'm going to insert one edge loop here and one edge loop here. Select this element, double click, and make sure that it is lined up. Okay, so I just need to go to the edge here, bridge again, and we can double click to select this hole and then fill hole. Then using our knife tool, or actually connect tool, we can fill up this area with converting them into four-sided faces. Now we know that this edge here, oops, not this one. Okay, why do I have that over there? Alright, so go back to select this continuous edge, and then we're going to apply a bevel, just a slight bevel over here. Okay, it might not be 100% accurate. Okay, because this bevel actually goes down all the way below. Okay, and then if I want, right, to add the extra detail, right, I will have to select this edge and then extrude it downwards. But for now, I'm going to leave it as it is, and then I find that this edge here, right, is actually too big already. Let me just undo, see whether I can go back. Yeah, keep on undoing, yeah, like that. So keep on adjusting the fraction. The fraction is actually quite small, like that only. Then give it 4 segments. Yeah, this is more like it. Bridge this section and bridge this section. Okay, so now we got four-sided faces, so this one will work. Right, then I will select, well actually, right, we can do this. Remember there is this tool, right, which you can use. We can select this face, go under to multi-mode, select this face, and shift select this edge, and then we can use the wedge face. Yeah. Then we can have the face, right, to continuously go below here. Then I'm going to extrude this all the way inwards like that. So that now I can select this edge. All the way down like that, then apply a slight bevel. So now that we have this bevel that goes all the way down for the panel, the instrument panel of the router. So let's take a look at the picture again. Okay, so we managed to create this. Okay, this area here is also rounded, so I will apply a bevel on this corner here. And give it 4 sections like that. Okay, and then we're going to connect these 2 vertices together. Okay, we're going to use the toolkit, right, to target well from here to here. And let's see, I think, let me just check the reference image again. Yeah, this one seems to be flush together with the bottom edge here. So I'm going to just do some sleight of hand modeling here. I'm going to select these faces, except for this one. And then I'm just going to move it down. Okay, and then this particular face here, I'm going to delete it away. This one also delete it away. Delete this one away. I will just temporarily join these two here together. Bridge. And maybe cover up this hole first. Fill up the hole. Okay, just a very small detail. I don't think anyone will see. Okay, but because I moved the face down, now I can see this part here is not lining up. Let's see, how can I fix this? Select these two faces, scale it, use scale to flatten them. Then just move it up until I get my rounded look again. Okay, then finally we will look at this area here. Okay, so we're going to select this edge and apply a bevel, including this one here. Okay, let me undo that because the bevel is meant to continue all the way across here to the other side, and also the bottom also. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, this one here looks a bit odd. Okay, but we will kind of fix that later. Okay, there will be still a lot of topology, right, issues, right, that we will need to fix, like this particular face here at the bottom. But if no one, okay, I think this one was created because of when I'm bridging the two halves together. Okay, but anyway, no one is going to see it. Okay, even if there's an empty hole here. Okay, let me just cover up this area here, see whether I can patch this hole now. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I managed to cover the bottom. Okay, so right now basically I have the shape out already. There's still one more section, which is the grill section on the side. This area here. So this one looks very interesting. It looks like a curved section then with multiple streams here. So how many sections is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is it 13? Okay, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22. We need to create actually 20. Okay, we need to create an object, right, with about 20 subdivisions. Okay, so I'm not going to just create out from this surface. So I'm going to create separately. So I'm going to maybe just use a cube again. Put it close here. Then go over to the channel box. Give it a height of 20. Sorry, not 20, not the height, my mistake. It's the subdivision's height, 20. Okay, I'm going to scale this up. Okay, there's something wrong with the cube. Let me undo that. Okay, I think it's because when I scaled it right, it will change the properties. So let's try that one more time. Yeah, okay, so this is what I want. So let's take a look at the picture again. I'm going to extend this all the way to the end using the scale tool. Okay, this grill looks a little bit more challenging to do. Okay, maybe I'll use another method to create, because this one requires like a, or actually you can cheat. I think I'm going to use a cheating method instead. Because if I were to model this out right, it's just too difficult. So I'm going to show you the cheating method. I'm just going to create one panel and then just duplicate them. I think it'll be much more efficient and faster that way. So I will again use a cube, but this time just a single level cube like that, and reduce the size of the cube so that it's almost the same thickness as one of the panels. Okay, we'll start from here. Let's look at the picture again. Okay, this one is fairly thin. So let's make it thin as well. So how many pieces are there? Okay, I'll use this as the main piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So we have 6 pieces. I'm going to come out over here. Just pull this out a little bit. Now I know the front part here is rounded. So I'm going to select this edge and apply a bevel. Give it also 4 segments. Okay, and then the entire strip right is really long, all the way to the end here like that. Then it's actually going to continue all the way here as well. So I'm going to just do one piece first, holding down to shift. I'm going to do one small piece here, then use rotate slightly, then press W to move again. W to move, then hold down to shift, quick extrude, then rotate a little bit, then shift, move, rotate, then shift, move until you reach to the other side. And I know that this thing stretches all the way there, so first scale to flatten it yet first, then holding down to W to move, not holding down to the bell, press W to move, then holding down the shift, then extend this all the way to the middle. Okay, we're going to be mirroring this later on. Okay, so now we got one strip like that. We're going to duplicate it, use the duplicate special from top to bottom. Duplicate 6 times. Let me save this scene first. And you can duplicate it manually by holding down the shift and duplicate, but you want it to be evenly spaced. We're going to use duplicate special. So we're going to reset the duplicate special. We're going to create instance, and we're going to do 5 more copies, and we're going to experiment how much to move. So from top to bottom, maybe just move 0. How much was that? Let me see. I'm looking at the channel box area here. Okay, from 0.6 to 0.4 is about 0.2. So minus 0.2 in the y-axis. Minus 0.2. So you will keep on moving downwards every minus 2 units and 5 times. Let's try. Okay, close enough. Okay, but we need a little bit more distance. Let me try that again. Edit duplicate special. Option box. Maybe 0.25 and duplicate special. Yeah, okay, this one looks much better. All right. So now I have this grill section. You can combine them together to form one piece. So I think it's much better than trying to extrude all of them as one piece. And you can see that there's also a supporting beam inside, which we can just create another cube to support it. Okay, so we can actually select all these pieces here now, and then we can mesh combine them. So it becomes a single piece. All right. Okay, so right now we have this so-called grill section, and I noticed that this part here is actually joined together. So I'm going to try to join by first. Right now I can't insert the edge loop because, okay, I made a mistake, right? I should have converted this into a four-sided face before I can insert edge loop. Now I can't do that. So to do that, I will have to, let me undo everything again. Okay, and I will just work on this one first. And let's fix the topology here. Let's see, I'm going to use the knife tool or multi-cut tool. Cut from here to here. And go below. Do the same thing. Cut from here to here. Okay, sometimes the cut doesn't want to cooperate. We have to cut from the bottom instead. So let's say I want to cut from here to here. Okay, still doesn't want to cooperate. So let's click from here and then to here. Then finally it will cut. Okay, you can see that there are two lines here. I will want to combine these two vertices together. Merge. Okay, and then let's cut the topology again. I want to make sure that these are become four-sided. So I have to insert one edge loop across here. Then we can cut across here. Then this one cut across here like that. Can use connect tool as well. Okay, this is just me being nitpicky about the topology, but at least now everything has been converted to four-sided. I can easily cut across an edge loop like that. Okay, and also I know that I want to later bridge, right, this section right to the bottom section. So I'm going to duplicate special, edit duplicate special, 0.25 duplicate special downwards like that. And I'm going to combine all these pieces together, mesh combine. Okay, once it's combined, now I can finally bridge these faces together. You can bridge faces like that. I'm going to continue to the bottom here. Oops. Okay, make sure you select the correct faces. Okay, so this section is now done. Then for the interior, or rather the supporting frames, right, which I can see over here, I think there's one group inside here. Okay, right about halfway here. So I'll have to insert edge loops. Actually, I'm going to use another one called insert. Okay, I'm going to insert one edge loop first, across like that. Then go to vertex mode, select all the vertices and use scale to line them up, flatten like that. We're going to insert another group of vertices. Select all these vertices here, use scale to line them up. Alright, so now I have the faces, right, to create the internal supporting bridge. Okay, these two are not bridging. I don't know why. Okay, maybe it's something else selected. So select these two. Okay, finally. So now we have the selecting framework. Okay, I think I'm going to ignore the one on the left. So I'm going to delete history. Get out of the isolate select. I'm going to apply a soften / harden edge. So this will only apply soften, right, edges to all those rounded corners, and you ignore those harder edges. So basically right now my router, right, the main structure of the router more or less is done. Now is to add in the antennas. The antennas are quite simple. They are just cylinders with different thicknesses. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the antennas, what they look like. Okay, so it's tapered from the bottom and then there's a nub sticking out like that. Okay, I'm going to select the top vertices and then just taper it inwards like that. Then this bottom here, bring it up higher. Scale it down slightly. Then select the top row of faces. Extrude. Okay, I'm going to scale this inward slightly, and then extrude again. Control E to extrude one more section. Then repeat, extrude again, and then scale it inwards. Extrude again, then pull out the thinner portion. Then to create the nub section, right, I'm going to get rid of all these faces using the same eraser method that I taught you guys. You can fill up this hole here. Select the face and do a extrude, then do an offset to the center here until it becomes a really tiny hole. Now we know all these are four-sided faces. Let me just undo that a little bit. My offset is too much. Yeah, like that. Okay, we know these are four-sided faces so that we can insert multiple edge loops. Okay, so we want to insert multiple edge loop, right? We cannot use the multi-cut tool. We have to use the insert edge loop tool. So in edge mode, right, go to insert edge loop tool. Then go and use the multiple options. Let me reset this tool. Multiple edge loops. Let's give it maybe 8. Then insert. Okay, go and select the vertex. Oops, let me undo that. I should not. Select the central vertex, then press B to turn on soft selection. Then hold on to B, middle mouse click and increase the range. Right, and then remember your cross section, right, we want it to be a round dome. So go over to the soft selection option, right, and then keep on adding all these, right, details, right, until you have a nice dome shape. Okay, this is one thing which I don't really like about Maya. It doesn't give me a nice way to control the profile. I have to add a lot of control points, right, just to create this cross section. Okay, so once I got the cross section done, I can just pull out. Then I should have this nice dome-like shape. Okay, I need to round off this area here. So press B to get out of soft selection mode. Then apply maybe a bevel. Okay, you can also try to apply a smooth. Okay, I don't know how well this will work. I'm going to apply a smooth and see whether it... No, okay. This smooth, right, will actually add in more geometry, which is not what I want. So I'm going to just manually spread out this edge loop. Slight edge loop, and then use the scaling tool. Uniformly scale the loop. Okay, until I got a nice dome like that. Alright, so the antenna looks about right now. Okay, the only thing is that it's supposed to be plugged from behind. So let me just create a simple plug. Extrude. Then I'm going to use a quick extrude method. Hold down the shift, extrude, then use scale. Scale a smaller section. Press W again and then do another quick extrude. And I'm going to use the multi method, right, to create a, what do you call that, a wedge. Okay, so remember the multi selection. So with all the faces selected, I want it to wedge along. Let's see, do I have an edge facing here? I'm going to use these two edges, and then I'm going to shift right mouse click and then wedge face, and then now we have this circular face sticking out like that. Then using my move tool, holding down the shift, extrude another small section here. I can apply a circularize. So rearrange everything into a nice circle. Then press Ctrl E again to extrude. Then do an offset. Press G again to extrude. Then just move this out, and then this will be my socket. Okay, now I'm going to reduce the size of this antenna because it looks a little bit too big. Okay, I'm going to move my pivot point, right, so that it's over here. So press D and then move the pivot point until it's right about here. Or actually I can manually align it to the center here. Alright, this is good enough. Alright, now I can assemble my router. Just put one antenna here. Okay, maybe I need to scale this up a little bit more. And duplicate another one here. Press W and then duplicate another one here. Okay, remember our router is still only half a router. These need to be behind. So this is still half a router because I need to I get rid of this one. Now I'll go to apply, duplicate mesh mirror along the x-axis. Let me just reset the settings. Then I want it to be merged together, so mirror. So now both halves are merged together. This one also, I need to apply a merge together as well, mesh and then mirror. So right now the other side is also combined together. So I'm going to select these antennas. I'm going to call this antenna. Wi-Fi antenna underscore 01. So I'll select these. This is the router itself. So I'm going to call this router. I'm going to delete away the history. Delete away all the history, and then let's see whether there's still anything stuck here. So all these, right, I can safely delete away. Okay, I still have not, I did not model the switch yet. So if you want, right, you can just create a cylinder and then just stick it there. Okay, right over there. So it's not necessary to actually do a hole or anything like that. Now, if you look closely, right, there's still extra details on this object here. And if you want, you can continue to model this and tweak this further. So this one looks like it is just a, I can do an extrude face, and then I can do offset inwards. Okay, and then after that, right, you can just select the edge. So this one, right, you have to be very careful. You do not want to collapse and overlap any vertices. So I'm just going to grab these vertices here and then just move it closer like that to create that this section here, right? There seems to be a depression, and then there is a green plastic cover over that side. I'm just trying to replicate that. So now I can grab these two faces here and then scale it inwards. Then if you want, you can extrude another face and push it inwards, scale it inwards so that it has that depressed look. Alright, then I'll just create a cylinder for the button. Rotate it 90 degrees and bring it out. Okay, I think it needs to be smaller still. Then apply a bevel. So we got a switch over there. And I think that's pretty much it. Alright, I'm going to parent the antennas right to the main body. Then this framework also, parent it. Then this is a button, I call it button. I'm going to parent it to the router as well. And that's it, your router is done. Okay, what is left is just to UV layout. Okay, now of course there are some topology, right, that's not done properly, and this particular router, right, cannot be subdivided. If you press number 3, right, all the topology is going to fall apart. Okay, so you leave it at level 1. Alright. So that's how you do a router. Okay, it's not exactly the best way. If you want to model the router exactly, right, you really have to spend time to really look at the nooks and crannies and spend time to do it. But this is the quickest way that I can think of to model something that resembles the router. So I think it looks close enough. Like I said, the behind, right, for the holes and everything, I'm going to ignore it, because by the time you put the router in your scene, right, nobody is going to look behind here. Okay, unless if you're doing an animation and part of the story involves you having the character unplug the router or having them pull the router from the plug, then you have to go and model the backside. Okay, so with that I will end the tutorial for modeling the router.